Jesus brought me out of a very painful life. I was very angry inside. I always knew that Jesus existed because we used to be friends when I was a kid. I got angry at him because of the way my life was turning out to be, and in return, Jesus kept wooing me. He kept wooing me, and I kept pushing him away and telling him, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And I got so full of hate and anger that I was having one of these attitudes of, I'm going to get back at the world. I'm going to get back at the world for the way that I've been treated. I wanted to get back. I wanted to crush the heart of God. I was so mad at him, you guys. I was so mad for the way that things had turned out in my life as a child, through my teens, up into my young adult life, through my 20s. I was so angry at Jesus. I blamed him for things that weren't even his fault. He was trying to rescue me, and here I was running from him and running with the devil, trying to get back at God for all that had happened to me. So if Jesus can take me, someone who was full of anger, hatred, had so many roots of all of that stuff, from being rejected, from being hurt, if he can take me and soften my heart and turn me around and hold me and comfort me, if he can forgive me, he can forgive you. I have done a lot of bad things in my life, a lot of things I'm not proud of. God, he definitely had to crush down the walls that I built around my own heart. And he was the only one that could do it. He was the only one, you guys, that could do it. He was the only one who knew how to speak to me in a perfect way. And I remember feeling his wrath, his anger, and his hurt towards me when I was doing these things to his heart, when I was throwing my life away, when I was purposefully doing things that he told me not to do. Because he told me not to do them, I would do them. And I could just feel his heart grieving for me in those times. Even in those times, he was hurting for me. He was still trying to woo me closer to him. Like, he would still speak gently to me. But it's like, in spirit, I was huffing and puffing, and I folded up my arms and I turned my head away from him. I wasn't going to listen to him. I wanted to do things my way, as if I could outsmart him. I was just so mad at him, and it was because I was rejected. My heart was rejected. As a child, growing up, I kept to myself most of the time. The friends that I did have were just as lost and broken as me. People that we could complain. I complained with a lot of my friends. We were complainers, we were partiers, we were rebels, we were people who wanted to get back at the world. Some of my friends, not all of them, but some of them. And yeah, I was walking with Satan. That's why I know him so well, because I know how he works. He used to be my best friend. He used to be my, he used to be the one to influence me. Now, I made my own choices, so I can't blame Satan, but he definitely influenced me. He definitely would, if I got upset, he was right there to encourage me to stay angry. He was right there, filling my mind with all sorts of negative, depressive, suicidal thoughts. Thoughts of hate against myself, thoughts of hate against the world, against anybody who would reject me. I wasn't the type of person that would start fights. I wasn't like that. I didn't want to pick a fight with anybody. I still cared if I saw someone hurting. and I know it was Jesus, I would still care for that person, you know? Like, it's so weird. I would treat strangers better than my own family. Like, if I saw, I remember I would go to these clubs and bars and stuff, and, when I was about 21, 22, you know, and I'd be in the bathroom, and there'd be these girls sick as a dog, just vomiting, and I would be that girl that would go over and I would hold her hair, a perfect stranger. I mean, little things like that. You know, I would help strangers like that. I mean, Jesus put that in me. I always cared for people in that sense, but I didn't care for their souls, you know? I didn't even care for my own soul. I knew that I was headed to hell, and in my heart, I wanted to take as many people with me as I could. It's like, if I'm going down, you guys are coming down with me. Let's just make this big wreck of a storm and destroy God's heart. That's part of the storm that was going on within me. But the other part was, I was deeply hurt. I was rejected. I didn't understand things. It's because when families grow up, this is part of the generational curse, the family curses that are on people. When people grow up without the Lord, without the counsel of knowing Jesus, they make destructive decisions. They're doing what their fathers teach them, right? Not Jesus Christ the Father, God the Father, but their earthly fathers. They're getting understanding and wisdom from man rather than going to God. And so when people get married and they start a family without the counsel of Jesus Christ, this is what happens. People end up making reckless, damaging, destructive decisions for themselves and for their families, their children, and they just don't know how to counsel because they're not going to God. So if people don't go to Jesus Christ, they're not going to know how to raise a family. They're not going to know His righteousness, what is right and wrong in His eyes. Okay? And so I was rejected a lot. I didn't get the nurturing and the love that Jesus had intended for families and to give to their children, even though they did the best that they knew how. When people go to Jesus, they can get the counsel that they need to raise families and to have the marriage that God has wanted for people, has created in His heart from the beginning for people, you know? He wants to be the center of our life. He wants to, because He knows that it's best for us. He knows what's best for us.